Hi, my name is Mark Clemens. I'm one of the elementary music teachers at Quitman, Arkansas, and it's story time. A long time ago, there was a system of government called feudalism, and feudalism is where lords and nobles owned the land, and people lived on the land and worked the land, and then gave a portion of everything that they raised to the lord or the noble as a tribute. And this is a story about that. So a long time ago in a land far away, there lived a very, very rich man, and he was lord over a wonderful area of land that the king had allowed him to be lord over. And he was not greedy like some of the other lords. He allowed his people to keep more of the things that they produced than any other lord around. And so because of that, the people were very happy and they did very well. In fact, he would allow them to go to other areas and even sell the stuff that they got to keep and keep the money for themselves. Well, because of this, he became richer and richer. And finally, he loved his people so much, he decided that he was going to build a great big castle with a great big room so that he could have his people over for parties and dances and weddings and things like that. And it was going to be great big. So they got the best designers and they began building the castle. And so the castle, it took months and months, and stone cutters came from all over, and they finally got it almost finished. And the wealthy man, the Lord, was out watching them put the last few rocks up on the parapets of the castle. And unfortunately, he got a little close at the wrong time. One of the ropes in the pulley broke, and the giant stone, bigger than a refrigerator, fell to the ground, and it hit the wealthy man. And it grazed him and mashed his arm into the ground to the point that it had to be taken off. And the people were all scared. They thought, oh no, he's been hurt. Will he turn mean? But he didn't turn mean. He knew it was just an accident. No one could have helped it. And so the people rejoiced, and they decided, we must do something for our Lord. And so they decided where his lost arm was, they were going to replace it with an arm of solid gold. And they went around the land, and they took up a collection, and then they found the finest sculptor in the whole country to create an arm made of solid gold for the Lord. And the day that they presented it, he was so excited and so happy. And one of the leathersmiths around made a beautiful sling that went around his neck and would hold his arm right here, right in front of him. Well, as the castle was finished and he was all healed up and he had his golden arm, he decided it was time to begin throwing parties. And so he did, and everyone came to the party, and everyone always came by to the Lord and would say, hello, and they would look at his golden arm, and it was a source of pride for him and for the people, and they enjoyed it. Well, just as with everyone, he began to grow old, and the people were worried, oh, one day he will be gone. I hope the next Lord is going to be as friendly and nice as he is. And then he passed, and everyone around came for his funeral. And it was decided in the land that his golden arm would be buried with him. And his arm was a source of fame around the country. And so people came from all over to his funeral. Well, unfortunately, in that big crowd, there were a couple of bad guys. And they had hatched a plan. And that night, after the funeral, and he was buried, they dug his body up and stole the golden arm because it would be worth thousands of dollars, and they wanted it. And the next morning when everyone got up, they saw that the grave had been disturbed and spoiled, and that the golden arm was gone, and it was never recovered. And now, every year, on the anniversary of his death and burial, the Lord rises from the grave and he wanders the countryside and he says, "Who's got my golden arm?" And he wanders over here. "Who's got my golden arm?" And he wanders in this way of the county. "Who's got my golden arm?" And even on the far end back here, "Who's got my golden arm?" It's you! And that's the story.